We've learned the Mariners outfield could have some pop. We saw it last night at the spring training game, the Cactus League game against the A's, where Domingo Santana hit his fourth home run of spring training. And Braden Bishop, who might be the first outfielder up this season, he very well might start the season in AAA, but could be up sooner rather than later. Braden Bishop with a 3-run homer that really helped cut into the deficit. I think that you're seeing some excitement from the young outfielders that they have here.
Yeah, it's cool to see. Right when we left last night, Kyle Lewis hit one off the wall.
It's another one.
Saw Domingo Santana with some power. He's relatively young, right?
Yeah, he is.
Young guy, big dude that's been walking around here. So, yeah, it's been really cool. I just think, look, you never know what's going to happen. This is just spring training, but the excitement about this team coming together, and you can see some of the personalities. I guess that's kind of what we've gotten out of this more than anything.
Yeah, it's been fun. Jake Fraley, we were just talking to Rick Riz this morning, and he was talking about a catch that you guys went to the game last night. I didn't make it, but it sounds like he nearly had a diving catch, and we've seen Jake Fraley and what he's done with the bat, the supposed throw-in with Malik Smith with the Heredia and Zunino trade, and then you talk about Santana. Ryan Divish wrote about him in the Seattle Times this morning, and they just had too many outfielders there in Milwaukee. He's going to have to cut down on the strikeouts, but boy, he's got that power that you talked about, and I think he's 26 years old, so he could be not only part of their present but part of their future too.
Domingo Santana is an interesting guy for this team for a couple reasons. Jim, you mentioned that he was a player who a couple years ago was really, really productive for Milwaukee. He hit 280. He had some great power. The Brewers upgraded, and you can't fault their acquisitions. They went and signed Lorenzo Cain. They acquired Kristen Yelich from the Marlins. And Domingo Santana kind of became an afterthought, and he fell out of the rotation of players last year. He gets a chance to kind of re-jumpstart his career. And an opportunity, that's the perfect kind of guy for a team like this for a couple reasons. Maybe he plays and shows and plays his way into your future, or maybe he has a bounce-back year, and this is the perfect kind of guy to flip at the trading deadline to get another asset and get even younger. You go from taking a guy who was not in Milwaukee's plans to turning it into an asset for your team for the future.
Yeah, it's kind of like in football. You find a good backup quarterback that you can develop, and whether you use him or not, or use him as trade bait, is something that might happen because too many outfielders here. I mean, there's a good amount. It's a very competitive position.
They've got a lot of young outfielders, and you think about how long this franchise went looking for outfielders. I mean, that was really, there's a 10-year period where they're scuffling around, and you're not seeing whether they're trading for, Casper Wells and different other guys that they, for years, Eric Thames, who hit a ton of home runs for the Brewers a couple of years ago, he was the guy they traded for. They couldn't find, nor could they develop outfielders. Jeremy Reed, all these different guys. And now you've got Kyle Lewis, who's showing the power that made him a first-round draft pick back in 2016. Braden Bishop is a young and developing player. Malik Smith, Mitch Haniger, Domingo Santana. Jake Fraley's never played above single-A, but that's another guy. You've got some outfield talent in the pipeline, not to mention Julio Rodriguez and Jared Kelenic, who are two very young potential superstars with this franchise.
Yeah, Danny, when you're talking about Jake Fraley, and I read Shannon's story at 710sports.com about his background, and he had an injury last year. He's played in Australia, and I didn't know that he hadn't played above single A, but when we talked to Scott Service yesterday, sounds like he's on the cusp of maybe even breaking through and playing on the big league level. We'll see if he goes to Japan or not, but his OPS is over 1,000, and he's doing some great things here, and we'll see if it'll work out for him. And, I'm looking forward to this. It's been fun down here.
It has been fun.
It's been really fun.
You know what we should do?
I'm waiting for Dave to throw the baseball back to me, but he hasn't done it yet.
Well, I didn't know what we were doing there.
Well, it's just a video that we're doing. We're just,
You want to try and toss it?
Yeah, well, here, do something. Well, here, Jess, you want some?
We're going to go watch Justice Sheffield pitch over on Field 2.